Hello and welcome to another live stream. Let me silence my phone before this goes any further. Alright, hopefully that'll do it. Alright, so it's Sunday the 24th of July 2022, and today we're going to talk about CasaOS, which I've started playing with a little bit. We're going to do an install and of the actual software on a fresh Ubuntu 22.04 server, which I'm just completing the updates on right now. So, that's the main topic for today. We're also going to talk about a couple of other things, and hopefully lead into what should become some new videos in the next few weeks. So, just giving people a few minutes to come in. I spent a good chunk of my day yesterday moving things around in my office. I started to rearrange furniture and realized that just by moving my table back towards this door behind me a bit, I'm going to get the flexibility I had desired for the most part, without completely turning everything around. So that's what I'm going with at the moment. I'm also, since I did tear everything down and did some cleaning and things of that nature, I have also come to the realization it's time for a couple of new monitors. So I'm looking for a matched pair of 1080p panels, probably looking at 120 hertz. Hopefully I'll be able to find something that's reasonably priced. I don't need a super high performance gaming monitor, but these two panels I've got that are my mains right now, they're approaching the 10-year mark, and they're only 60 hertz, and I'm just looking for something that's a little more up to date, not cutting edge necessarily, but even an inexpensive panel today is going to be an improvement over the two that I'm currently using. So, alright. Let's take a look at chat. Good morning, Poe and James. Welcome. Hope you're both having a good morning, and hopefully this will prove to be an interesting exploration of something that is at least new to me. Maybe other people have been playing with CasaOS longer, but yeah, it's something new to me. I'll save my feelings about it until after we do the demo, when compared to something that I've used a little more extensively, like Portainer, but I think it's got some promise to it. So I'm going to share my screen. As I mentioned, this is finishing updates currently. So once the updates are done, we will move on to the installation of CasaOS and all the fun that entails. Good morning, Chris. Welcome. Oh yeah, could do that while I'm doing this. For those who aren't aware, and who may find this useful, Action1 is an RMM tool, and Chris actually tipped me off to this. But your first 100 endpoints are free forever. So if you're doing a little consulting on the side, or you're supporting family members and want to do so on the cheap, provided you've got fewer than 100 family members and they're all running Windows, this may be the tool for you. It is getting better with every release that they push out, and they do have on their roadmap, if I could just bring the roadmap up, they do have on their roadmap Mac OS and Linux support. I will say that some of these that are on the future list are some that are more interesting to me. The interactive command prompt and PowerShell would be very interesting, as well as some of the other things. Integrate Chocolatey or Winget, that was actually my suggestion. And they've got some preliminary Winget stuff in place. So I just wanted to give them a little screen time while I'm waiting for updates to complete on that server. No, I'm not sponsored by them, although if they wanted to sponsor this channel or certain videos on this channel, I would definitely be open to that prospect. Since putting this in place at the library where I'm currently working, it has made my job much easier. I have started moving things over from individual app installs on a lot of our public machines to deployments through Action1, and it's going to make things so much easier down the road once my transition is completed. I'm very optimistic about their development process, and I'm hoping that with through the remainder of the year they will continue to chip away at their ever-growing list of future features. All right, let's see where we're at on the server. Okay, get a little bit larger, and I'm going to take myself off screen for a moment. New script library is nice. I have custom PowerShell scripts that help that my help desk can use to get info and fix issues quickly. Yeah, that's cool. I've started playing with their script library as well. I don't have any custom PowerShell scripts that I've written so far, but currently I'm an army of one IT department, so I'll get there, but has not happened yet. We've been dealing with phone issues that are finally resolved. The ISP that handles our internet and phone system, I finally got somebody that knew what the hell they were doing, and decided that it was there was in fact an issue, and I wasn't nuts, and they rolled a truck and had to replace some SFP optics and clean some things, and they did that, and all the issues have evaporated. Go figure. Alright, so in any event, alright, so we're connected into, I don't think I even have NeoFetch on here. Yeah. Okay, we're connected into my CasaOS demo server. And so we're going to switch to the root user. And we're going to install some things. So we're going to make sure SmartMon tools and NetTools are both installed, because if you don't have them installed, then the CasaOS installer will complain about it. Let's see. Okay, so now we're going to run no. Let's try that again. Okay, the install script for CasaOS is according to their install instructions. You're using curl to grab the script, and you're piping it into bash. Now, if this is your first time installing, you may want to put it into install sh and take a look at the install script. So you can just go through this and see if there's anything that looks odd to you. I realize not everybody that watches this channel is fluent in bash programming. I wouldn't say that I'm fluent myself, but I know enough to be dangerous, mostly. Maybe a little more than that. I should give myself a little bit more credit. I've been doing this long enough, but you know, you want to make sure that everything looks kosher, and then once you're happy with the way things look, then you can go ahead and run what they had originally laid out. Now, the reason that I changed to the root user is because if you run this curl line with just sudo privileges, it'll complain at you. It'll run, but it'll complain at you. So this is a workaround, and once the install is done, we will do a couple things and then switch back to our normal user. So this is going to take a few minutes. I'm going to take a look back over here and see what's going on in chat. Good morning, everybody. I'm probably going to butcher your name, but Sigurd-John, good morning. And James, welcome. My apologies if I'm way off on your name. That's honestly a name I've not seen before. Although my brother, when he abbreviates his name down, he does just spell his name John, Jon, if that's any consolation. But Siggy, okay, that works. I'll take it. Thank you for being a good sport with my bad pronunciations. All right, so I do expect this install is going to take somewhere between 5 and 8 minutes. I'm still not yet running the i9 system. Just getting a few odds and ends that I'm still not 100% happy with taking care of. I have had it up and running. I just want to get some odds and ends done so that I can put it into service and not have to be pulling it apart multiple times. Okay, so I guess I estimated incorrectly. That went quicker than I had expected. So if we do a Docker process, we'll see that we're running sync thing is running in the background, and yeah, we're good there. Okay, so switching back to my notes again. I am going to add my normal user to the Docker group, so I don't have to use sudo on every Docker command that I type in. Okay, and then we can log out of the root user. I'm going to disconnect as my normal user, because once we reconnect, we can now run Docker commands without sudo. Excuse me. Okay, so moving back over here, if we go to the IP address of our server, there's 158. It should. If it doesn't pop up here soon, I'm just going to reboot the server, and hopefully everything will come back. It should pop up our CasaOS getting started. It is just not wanting to do that. So we'll do this. We'll restart the server and let it come back up, and get things moving a bit. I guess this is as good as any time to ask that if you're getting something out of this, or if you've got something out of my other content, to like this video. It does help give the YouTube algorithm the little nudge it needs to keep putting my content in front of people, and hopefully in the process continue to allow this channel to grow. Okay, so we are back in. Oh yeah, it'd help if I type the IP address correctly. Might be time to clean the keyboard again, or consider replacing it. Alright, so once we get to CasaOS, it's going to ask us to create an initial account. So we'll create an account. And we have a dashboard that we start off on. Up here we've got our account for logout. We've got some dashboard settings. It has the default search engine set to DuckDuckGo. Web UI port is on 80, which we can change. Wallpaper we can change. They don't give us a lot to choose from, but you can upload your own. Show recommended apps, auto mount USB drive, which is not applicable to a VM. But yeah, there's a terminal. We can view logs, which is all good. So keep in mind that this is version 0.3.3. So while I do feel like this has a lot of promise, it's very clean looking, and with the push towards edge computing and people doing more things within their own network rather than on public internet, I think this has some real potential, being rather straightforward for people that might be intimidated by Portainer or Yacht or things like that. So we've got a file browser by default that, you know, sort of mimics the folders you'd have on a desktop Linux system or Windows or Mac OS. And so you can drill down there. But where it gets interesting is their App Store. And this is one area, again, I think this is nice. But I think they could do a lot more with it. And hopefully that'll come in time. You can run your own two-factor authentication system. You can do AdGuard. Vault Warden is a self-hosted Bitwarden server. There's Nextcloud and Home Assistant and Pi-hole and, you know, even the Unify controller. A couple of BitTorrent clients. You've got Node-RED, Duplicati, PhotoPrism. Several of these things could be rather interesting. Even AllTube Download, which lets you download YouTube videos, for better or worse. As a content creator, I'm a little torn on this. On one hand, I can see where for creators it's great for downloading your older videos that you may have lost the original files for, but you know, I don't know as though I necessarily want people just downloading my videos, but I can't stop them. So, you know, it is what it is. I'd rather have people view on YouTube so I can make a little bit of money on the side here, but you know, it's one of those things. Alright, so let's pick on something and say we want to install PhotoPrism. It's giving you the username and password, admin and CasaOS, and it's going to go through the process of downloading this and starting up the Docker container for you. And thankfully my internet has got faster, although not what they claim they updated me to, which is going to make me have to contact support again, but hey, it's all good, I guess. While it's doing its thing, I did want to talk a little bit about speed test CLI. And so this does work on various Linux versions, Mac OS. I think there's even a Windows version, but you can run speed test -- list. Okay, they must have changed the do it that way. Just -L on Mac OS. And that's going to list the most the closest servers to you for doing a speed test. So we can do, let's pick on 1525. We can run through this. Speed test -- server -ID equals, and then it's the ID number of the server you want to use. And it will go through here and it will test your internet speed. And the great thing is you don't have to deal with any ads and heaviness of the web version. So that wasn't the greatest example there. So let's try this one. That looks better. So according to the people at WoW that I spoke with via chat 2 weeks ago today, the plan that I was supposed to be upgraded to was 500 down and 50 up. And as you can see, 278 down and 50 up. So at least my upload speed is something reasonable now. I would like to get the full download speed that we're paying for, but that's a fight for another day. Okay. So if we come back over here to CasaOS, we've got Photo Prism and admin CasaOS. Oops. All right, and so we've got our Photo Prism. You can create albums, you can, have videos and all kinds of things on here. Even states, tag things as private. You can hide things, and basically it's your photo gallery and organizing tool that will keep you going. You've got different things across the top as well. This is full disclosure, this is brand new to me, and so this is the first time I'm looking at this. You've got syncing and account. Okay, so of note, I guess I should say, is that this does have the note that web dev clients can connect directly to Photo Prism. So this ties in with what we talked about last week with rclone. Since you can use rclone to connect to web dev endpoints, you could use rclone to sync your files into Photo Prism and get that process started. So, just something to keep in mind and give you another example of how rclone can be used. So, if we jump back into files, you can see in app data we've got a new folder for Photo Prism. And then you can drill down into that and find whatever data you're looking for. Which, this is nice. I think it's got some real potential. If we jump back to the App Store, they also have a custom install option. You can add the Docker image, the app name, icon URL, and basically build out your own containers. I have not got heavily into this up to this point, but I think this is going to be something that I will want to start playing with going forward, and see if it can in fact be a replacement for Portainer. So I think it's got all of the options here that are needed, but the way the options are presented looks different, significantly different than Portainer and Yacht and whatnot. All right, back to school. Have a good day, Siggy. Thanks for stopping in. There's also an import. You can do Docker CLI, Docker Compose, and app file. So that does pose an interesting question then. If we can do let's see. This is the list of Docker containers at linuxserver.io. So let's see if, I don't know, double commander. Container info. This is the Docker Compose. If we copy this, come back to CasaOS, paste that in, and we're going to say America Detroit. And we need to modify volumes, which, yeah, this is the part that trips me up because I don't have the paths for Docker stuff memorized yet. But needless to say, we can. I'm just going to say submit for the sake of argument here. Some configuration information such as port and path of the web UI, mount location. These include, we're not limited, blah, blah, blah. Still need to be confirmed or modified by you. Okay, so it's got the Docker image, it's got the name. Change that to be double commander with a C. Ports, so port 3000. And okay, so data. And let's say install, see if this actually works. Again, I'm not a Docker expert by any stretch. I am continuing to learn, and so if people in the audience have tips and tricks or see me doing something stupid right in front of my nose that I don't catch, since I'm, trying to manage the live stream on top of this, please let me know. I'd rather have this turn into a learning experience for everybody, myself included, than have me do something really stupid and have it out there forever. So, maybe this will work, maybe this won't work. That's why I did a separate server for today's live stream, so that I could experiment, and if I really screw something up, that I don't have my base CasaOS install messed up in the process. Download a newer image, even better. So, yeah, CasaOS is pretty interesting. Well, it did give me an app icon. It doesn't do anything though. Well, I probably screwed something up. Let's see, double commander. It appears to be running. Holy crow, it actually works. So, yeah. I guess I'll take it. So we've got double commander running in a Docker container on top of CasaOS in a web browser. So, great. How useful this is, I'm not entirely sure, but it's there. Now, why this isn't launching, I'm not entirely sure. No, probably this. Probably that. Doesn't launch with that, but that I'll figure out. Settings. So it was just 3,000 that I needed on this one. Oh, yeah, my 2 isn't working so well. Okay. And it looks like that time it's actually going to work. Okay, bonus. So you can do a lot of the custom stuff, and you know, get some of these things going. I'm really kind of interested in some of this stuff now, just to play. See if we can do another one. Okay, so this one, not even sure if that has a web UI. specify any ports. Of course, I'm not entirely sure what this one does. SSH tar pit. We don't need that. Okay. So we'll come back over here and we'll cancel that out. But I guess the point of all this is that you can do custom installs. The fleet, so to speak, over here at linuxserver.io can give you a lot of starting points, shall we say. I wish they had a description of the containers. Basic examples for getting this image running as a container. It doesn't help me. Anyways, there are lots of containers out here. Home Assistant, Jenkins Builder, I don't know what Kanzi is. Formerly titled Kodi Alexa. Custom skill is the ultimate voice remote control for navigating Kodi. Okay, so I don't use the A tool, but that could be interesting to use. Let's encrypt is deprecated. LibreOffice in a browser can be done this way. MariaDB. Mine test for a Minecraft adjacent piece of software. It's not a clone technically, but it's it can be made to run like Minecraft. So yeah, there are a bunch of things out here. Obviously, I've not spent as much time here as I would like necessarily. But nonetheless, there are a bunch of options out here that will probably keep people busy for a while, working with these and testing them on CasaOS and just making sure things are working. They've even got Wireshark, which is great. So yeah, I mean, and you can sort these by the build time, so you can easily check and see what has been updated most recently, which is kind of useful. But yeah, a description of what each of these does would be a great improvement. Alpine, Ubuntu, Fedora, and Arch containers containing full desktop environments and officially supported flavors accessible via any modern web browser. Okay. So, yeah, that could be interesting. Anyway, that gives us a little bit of a few things to play with and think about. Just a couple of other things I wanted to mention. VirtualBox has been updated to version 6.1.36. So if you're on Linux or Windows or an Intel-based Mac, be sure to update to that latest version. There are still no announcements of VirtualBox version 7. This is the currently vaporware version that is claimed to bring all of the changes necessary to run Windows 11 without jumping through a bunch of extra hoops. And I would really like to see it by the end of the year, but Oracle is a big company, and I don't know as though they devote all that many resources to VirtualBox these days. The other piece of news is, and many of you have probably heard this already, Linux Mint 21 is in beta, and obviously it's available for testing. Up to this point, I have not tested the Mint 21 beta. I think it will be interesting when I do test that, but it's one of those things that I've kind of pushed back a lot of the Linux distribution testing and experimentation with new distros until after I'm 100% happy with, or at least 95% happy with the i9 build, have the machine up and running, Proxmox installed and tested and configured, and then I want to start doing some tests just to see how fast that system is for provisioning virtual machines compared to this old Xeon machine that I've been running on for so many years, which is admittedly quite long in the tooth, but you know, it's one of those things. It's sometimes difficult to put an old machine out to pasture when it's still running. It's just loud and power sucking to run it. So, are there any questions, comments, tips, suggestions? Does anybody want to say anything in the chat? I have reached the end of my notes, and although we bounced around just a little bit, we have focused on CasaOS, and you know, this is something that I do have an extra Dell Optiplex box sitting around. I may just put CasaOS on it, and you know, with the express purpose of you know, doing some long-term testing, and you know, run it until the end of the year and see, you know, how things have changed from this initial look in this video at version 0.3 0.3.3, I believe. Yeah, 0.3.3 to, you know, whatever version is available at the end of the year. Whether I will, you know, continue past that, I'm not entirely sure. And I may very well consider moving the extended testing over to the i9 Proxmox machine once that's all in the clear on testing and whatnot, and you know, continue to run it there. But that is where I'm at. I think this has a lot of promise, again, as, you know, sort of that edge computing, you know, sort of something that, you know, you could show to a parent or a sibling that might not be the most tech savvy, and have them make some use of it. Again, there are things that I'm not seeing in here that Portainer does have at a glance, that you know, the more power user in me would like to see. But I will say this is a really nice looking interface, and you know, if they can continue and, you know, keep that balance between features and usability, then, you know, they could, in certain segments, give Portainer a run for their money. Portainer and Yacht and, you know, other things. So, all right. It doesn't look like there are any new comments here today. I think I am going to wrap this up. We're not quite to the 1 hour mark, but I've covered what I set out to cover today, and, you know, let's keep this concise and avoid me just rambling for too long. And yeah, hopefully people have got something out of this. Again, if you have, please like the video, please share it on your social media, you know, point some friends or colleagues to my content if you think they might get value out of it. Hopefully I can actually get some recorded videos going this week. Month of July has not exactly been what I had expected it to be in terms of recording videos, but now that some other things are falling into place, hopefully I can get back on the bandwagon and creating some videos for everybody, and you know, kickstart the growth of the channel for the remainder of 2022. So that I think is going to wrap things up for today. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there. Happy computing and have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.